All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will call our June council meeting to order at this time. Thank you to those in attendance and those watching at home and to the council who are here. At this time, we will have the clerk call the roll.
Beeman?
Here.
Debates? Here. Cummings?
Here.
Narell?
Here.
Bolt?
Here.
Reckelberg?
Here.
Sikowitz?
Here.
Bry?
Here.
Schley?
Here.
All members present.
Thank you. At this time, will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And if you could remain standing after the pledge for a prayer by our council president, Bill Schley. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, yesterday many of us celebrated Father's Day and reflected upon the blessings in our lives. Tragically, we were also rocked with the news of 9 mass shootings, one of which was as close as Sheboygan, with, with 5 dead, including 3 children, and over 30 people injured. The horrific scene reminds us not to take our own lives for granted, to ask for your guidance, and to continue to pray for and encourage our state and federal leaders to find a real solution to this really horrific problem. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Council President Schley. All right, we do have first on the agenda to be sworn in a new representative for District 1. We will take that first, just so everyone is aware. The Committee of the Whole met prior to this meeting to interview candidates who put their name in for consideration for the District 1 seat that is open. At the council meeting here, we will be opening up the floor in a few seconds for nominations by the council for any individual they wish to nominate, up to and including all the names listed. Or if there are any others, anyone can be nominated at this point. It does take just a nomination. It does not take a motion or a second. So a single nomination does get the individual in the queue for consideration. Once those are completed, we will open up the floor to the alder who nominated the individual to speak on their behalf if they wish, if they desire. After that list is exhausted, we will open it up to the council to speak on any candidate that they wish to say anything about. The individual who, the successful nominee must have a majority vote of the council. Since there are 9 voting members, the successful candidate is required to get to 5 votes. If we are not at a successful candidate after the first round of voting, the top 2 candidates, unless there's a tie for second, will advance to another round of voting, and we will continue voting until one individual receives at least 5 votes. Once that is completed, we will be swearing that individual in immediately, and they will have full voting rights on council starting immediately. Are there any questions from the council? We will not, I will, in time, and we've spoke a lot, the one opportunity to speak on behalf of candidates we'll have at the beginning. If there are multiple rounds, we'll ask if anyone does want to speak further about a different candidate or whatnot. Everyone aware of the process? So, all right, at this time, I will open up the floor for nominations, and we will also go in order for that when we speak. Alderman Bry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to nominate Todd Lotz for the position of District 1 Alderman.
All right, Todd Lotz is nominated. Alderman Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to nominate Andy Janicki to be a representative of District 1.
Thank you. Andy Janicki is on the list. Alderman Reckelberg.
I'd like to nominate Brett Vanderkin.
All right, Reckelberg has nominated Brett Vanderkin. He is on the list. Are there any other nominations for consideration? Alderman Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to nominate Andrew Dunbar
All right.
for District 1.
Alderman Cummings has nominated Andrew Dunbar. Any other names for consideration to be nominated? Any other? Going once? Twice? Then I will close this round of nominations, and the individuals who are successfully nominated are in order: Todd Lotz, Andy Janicki, Brett Vanderkin, and Andrew Dunbar, who will be considered for voting. I will open it up now to the alders who nominated, and starting with Alderman Bry, if you have anything to say about the candidate you nominated.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I guess, first of all, I'd like to thank all the candidates that have applied for this. It's a very interesting position. And I've been doing this for 30-some years now. I had a degree in political science, and as Mr. Janicki also I was a graduate of UW-Stevens Point, involved with student government and an executive committee with the Student Government Association. But regardless of all that, to speak to Mr. Lodge, like I said, all of you are very qualified, and it's kind of sad. I shouldn't say sad, but I'm impressed that actually most of you said that regardless of what happens here tonight, you are going to consider running next spring when the election, or the full term will be up once again. But regarding the candidates, I guess, I've known Mr. Lotz for several years. I did serve with him here on the Common Council. I think he was very well read. He knows what he's talking about. He's very interested, and he isn't afraid to listen to people, not just from his district, but listen up here of the members of the Common Council, but listen to people from other districts as well. Actually, that sounds probably better than what I'm saying right now. But
Quiet until you started speaking. Saying.
I'm sorry. That's all right. Someone else is up for election next spring too. But anyways, regardless of that, I urge you to support Todd Lotz. Like I said, thank you all for that came in and decided to put your name in the hat. And I would encourage all of you to consider running again next spring. But at this time, it comes down to the Common Council making the appointment for this night. So I urge the rest of my fellow aldermen to support Todd Lotz. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have Alderman Bolt next for Andy Janicki.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep it short and sweet with this. If you looked at his resume and all the different backgrounds that he had, how the different areas of expertise he could bring to the Common Council, but to add to that, the list of people that if we wanted to go out and ask, which I did, I got in contact with several people, nothing but good things and good character to say about Mr. Janicki, so I would encourage them to do the same. Support Mr. Janicki.
Thank you. I next have Alderman Reckelberg, who nominated Brett Vanderkin.
The reason I nominated him is very simple. At the last election, the electorate voted him into office, and to no fault of his own, a paperwork snafu came up and said that he was technically on paper no longer a resident of the district. That has since been rectified, and he also resigned simply because of what our attorney had offered up as advice as far as having talked with other city attorneys and court cases and stuff like that. Rather than make a big to-do about it, he manned up and said, I will resign, and then when it comes up and it's shown that I am a resident, I will apply. And so I would recommend, or I would hope that my fellow aldermen would support him and let him finish the term that he was elected for, once again, because of no fault of his own. Thank you.
Thank you. And then finally, I have Alderman Cummings, who nominated Andrew Dunbar.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I just want to echo what Alder Bryce said, and having 8 people go and apply for this is definitely heartwarming. And hopefully that means then for District 1, when that comes open next election, that we have a very, very great election cycle where the District 1 has a lot of people to choose from. While everybody spoke, I did write down just basically the names that impressed me. Mr. Dunbar was one of them that did impress me, and I just wanted to make sure that he got into the consideration at this point, which is the reason why I did the nomination.
Thank you. Those are all the individuals who nominated. We'll now open it up to any other council member who wishes to say anything about any of the candidates at this time. Alderman Sitkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This round, I am going to be supporting former Alder Todd Lotz. I did have the pleasure of serving with Todd for the 3 years he was here, and I think timing is critical going into a lot of things in the second half of this year, as well as budget, so it's not going to take former Alder Lotz a lot of time to get back up to speed on on the issues in front of us. It wasn't that long ago that he served on the council, so I think just for being prudent and moving things forward as quickly of a pace as council can, I think former Alder Lotz is the best person to do that. With that said, I think there were a lot of quality candidates who share interesting views for the city moving forward, different perspectives. It sounds like we're going to have a very robust primary season in February next year, so that's always encouraging. One concern I have is with Mr. Vanderkin, who I heard Alder Reckleberg say through no fault of his own, and I don't know where that narrative is coming from, that it was some error of a address filing. If you take a look at the letter that was provided by Mr. Vanderkin's own attorney last month, it specifically says that Mr. Vanderkin was not to have any contact with address 1209 Summit Street in Manitowoc, which is what he claimed was his address. So in the letter that Mr. Vanderkin sent to us about why he reapplied to council, he said he had resigned to uphold the standard of council. I disagree with that. I think it was because he got caught. So, thank you.
Thank you. Well, again, any alder wishing to speak about any of the candidates or any? Seeing none then, we will then move to vote. We will go down the line, starting with Beeman debates. Just say the last name of the candidates, since we've got an Andrew and an Andy. Please say the last name of the candidates you wish to vote for. Again, I do not vote, so we have 9. The successful candidate is required to have 5. We'll have the clerk then call for the votes.
Beeman,
Dunbar.
Debates,
Vanderkin.
Cummings,
Dunbar.
Norrell,
Vanderkin.
Bolt,
Janicki,
Reckelberg,
Vanderkin.
Sikowitz,
Lots.
Bry,
Lots.
Schley,
Lots.
Okay, I have Andy Janicki with 1, Andrew Dunbar with 2, Brett Vanderkin with 3, and Todd Lotz with 3, correct?
correct.
All right, we will take the top 2 then, as was mentioned, which will narrow the list to Todd Lotz and Brett Vanderkin. That'll be the second round of voting. Are there any other comments or statements to be made by the council at this time? Alderman Bry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, when this first came up last 2 months ago, a question, we first found out about the address trend, and I don't understand this clerical error as well, because if it was a clerical error, I would have fought my butt off to try to prove it was wrong. But then Alderman Vanderkin resigned. If he was actually living at that address, it shouldn't have been a problem. So why did he resign? To keep the integrity of common council? I agree with Alderman Sikowitz. He got caught. So I encourage you to support Alderman Lotz. So hopefully Alderman Lotz tonight.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Alderman Cummings.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess kind of going off of the Vanderkin comments with it. First off, obviously us getting into this position is not ideal to be here, at this moment in time. There is obviously a legal issue going on at this current moment, which Vanderkin did not wish to comment on earlier. That all being said, I did look it up in CCAP. It still is open. The plea publicly was not guilty. So in today's day and age, we're still in a country where we're not guilty until proven guilty, or innocent until proven guilty. With that, Vanderkin was elected 3 times by the people of his districts. Whether or not, some mentioned as far as who he ran against, that's irrelevant. The people still need to choose to run or not, and whoever he ran against, he obviously did get elected by his peers in his district. Unfortunately, situations obviously got to, like I said, where we're at. I don't necessarily agree with it, but at the end of the day, he was still elected by his people. We have 7 months left, and that would be the reason why I would support Vanderkin at this time, even though obviously being conflicted on why we're even here in the first place at this point. I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Any other comments? Alderman Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too am conflicted because if there's a legal matter still out there, I would like to know what that is before we step forward. But this is, his people elected him. And unfortunately, we have to go with what the personnel are asking. I know that we would like to have that information, and he did plead not guilty. And if that's as far as it goes, then the people in his district did elect him.
Thank you. I have Alderman Bry.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. I think we're going way too far on this, at least from my perspective. I was never concerned with Alderman Vanderkin, what he was being charged with. And right, I believe in innocent until proven guilty. The question was that whether then Alderman Vanderkin was living at the address where he was elected to. It seemed to be proved that he was not living there. That's the question right now. Not the question whether he's innocent or guilty in his charges. It's whether he was living within the confines of the 1st District. If, like I said initially, if I was found with this clerical error address that I was not living in my district and I knew I was living in my district, I would have fought like hell to prove that I lived in my district. But he resigned. And to put it comfortably, as Alderman Sikowitz said, he got caught. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments? Alderman Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for context for anybody listening, part of the reason for the resignation was he was heavily encouraged to resign for the simple fact of once it was determined he wasn't in his current address, and then that officially got changed by the city clerk for that, I think it was for a period of 10 days, then anything that he would have voted upon at that point would have been potentially null and void, or it could have been fought in court per consult with Attorney Nitsch. So that's part of the reason why he did resign versus go through then the committee of the whole, going and determining whether he could stay on or not. So, and then the process was, once he resigned, then we could get to this point, which is where we're at. So how they got there, how all that, like I said, that's the part which is obviously conflicting morally for me at this moment, but I said my piece on the other part. But thank you.
Thank you. I have Alderman Schley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Alderman Cummings, I really wish you to talk to me before you made that statement. I was the first person, as the president of the council, who was charged with contacting Alder Vanderkin about this situation. I did not pressure Alder Vanderkin. I did not pressure anyone to do anything. I simply presented the facts as they existed, that it was in violation of Wisconsin statute, that it compromised the integrity of the entire council if he stayed on the council, and that if he resigned from the council, there'd be no further action and none of this would have become public knowledge. Simple as that. So I just want to clear the air right now and say no one pressured anyone that I'm aware of to leave the council, period. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Cummings.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I do apologize for that wrong term of words with pressure. The options were laid out. So, and that would be it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? Alderman Sitkowitz.
Thank you. You know, I agree with a lot of the comments that have been said that this isn't an issue about former Alder Vanderkin's innocent or guilt in a case. This is about an address issue. If you go back and look, you know, we deal with a lot of stuff that with the address change that was filed on May 9th with the county clerk's office. And then on the 20th, it was changed back. So there's a, 11-day window there that really was, I think, I don't want to speak for the attorney, but that was kind of the window that raised concern because there were meetings where former Alder Vanderkin was attending and voting on that was while his address was in question, obviously, if he filed on May 9th an address change. You know, we held a common council special meeting, we held a public safety meeting, we had a committee of the whole meeting, all where former Alder Vanderkin voted on items. So there's a small window there of issues that could be raised by somebody who maybe there was a 6-4 vote, 5-4 vote, what have you. But then we get a letter from his attorney stating that back in February, he couldn't be at his address. So now we have a much larger issue of can of worms that if there were issues raised on close votes or individual practice, that would be even a larger issue for the city. So I'm sure his constituents didn't vote him into office to create that kind of trouble for the attorney's office or us as council and the rest of the city. So my question is, and I understand that he was elected 3 times and his constituents did that, but there's been a lot of stuff since that happened, right? It's a different case than when you're running in a general election in this case. Who's gonna believe former Alder Vanderkin when he tells you where he lives now? In a month from now, who's gonna believe him when he says where he lives? Because we have a history, now unfortunately a track record creates a history of not being forthcoming in discussions on situations like this. So I can appreciate that some people would like to see him back here, but I can also understand how somebody could say, I can't trust that individual to represent the city going forward. So I'm fully supported of former Alder Lotz because you saw that he served 3 years. In that second term, he made a choice to move out of the district and came forward and resigned. I guess going forward that people are going to have to police each other and go around and make sure everybody's living where they're saying they're living, because if we elect former Alder Vanderkin or appoint him back to the council, that trust is now broken for the entire council. And I think that's unfortunate. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, again, the candidates are Todd Lotz and Brett Vanderkin. We'll have the clerk call the roll. Please say the last name of the candidate you wish to vote for.
Beeman.
Lotz.
DeBates.
Vanderkin.
Cummings.
Vanderkin.
Norrell.
Vanderkin.
Bolt.
Vanderkin.
Reckelberg.
Vanderkin.
Sikowitz.
Lots.
Bry.
Lotz.
Schley.
Lotz.
Thank you. I have 5 votes for Vanderkin and 4 for Lotz. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. That concludes voting. All of Brett Vanderkin, if you would like to come up and be sworn in by the city clerk. You have I plugged the microphone in if you want to.
Okay. Raise your right hand, repeat after me, please. I, Brett Vanderkin,
I, Brett Vanderkin,
having been appointed to the office
having been appointed to the office
of Alderperson, District 1 for
Of al-
for the city of Manitowoc, I'm sorry,
of Alderperson District 1 for the city of Manitowoc,
but have not yet entered
but have not yet entered
upon the duties thereof,
upon the duties thereof,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please collect your signature here, and I'll take care of the rest.
All right, and as noted, now Alder Vanderkin will have full voting rights as a member of the council. All right, that concludes that portion. We'll move right along to presentations. We have a few presentations this evening for oaths of office for firefighter paramedics. If King Jerome and Shane would like to come up with their families and any other members of the Manitowoc Police and Fire Department that are here, we'll have the clerk administer the oath of office for those two first.
Solemnly swear that
I, Ken Giroux,
solemnly swear that I will support the
I'll support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution,
and the Constitution
and that I will faithfully
of the discharge of duty
firefighter paramedic for the city of Manitowoc,
for the city of Manitowoc.
my ability.
Yeah, we'll move right into the oath of office for motor pump operator Tyler Zastro.
All right. If you're ready, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Tyler Zastro,
I, Tyler Zastro,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of motor pump operator
of motor pump operator
for the city of Manitowoc
for the city of Manitowoc
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. If you could sign on that top one, please.
Congratulations. All right. Next, we have a presentation of unit citation to Fire Lieutenant Scott Larson, firefighter paramedic Mark Lyman, and firefighter paramedic Ben Reisterer, and firefighter paramedic William Peck. And we will have Assistant Chief Kranick give a explanation and the citation. Oh, is it light green? There you go.
There you go. Probably could have heard me without it anyway. Anyway, thank you. Unit citation. So what this is a unit citation is awarded to any group of 2 or more fire department members who make up a company, section, or team which has performed in an outstanding manner worthy of recognition. And we had that on March 29th, 2024. The unit citation goes to the company of Truck 1 that day, which was Lieutenant Scott Larson, firefighter Mark Lyman, firefighter Reisterer, Ben Reisterer, and firefighter Will Peck. On March 29th, 2024, at 4:03 p.m., the Manitowoc Fire Rescue Department was dispatched to 1332 South 13th Street for smoke coming out of an upstairs apartment. Secondary reports from dispatch indicated that smoke was showing from the upper apartment and possibly 2 people were trapped inside. The battalion chief was first on scene and followed shortly thereafter by Truck 1. The second 2 units were several minutes out coming from the north side of the city. Upon arrival of Truck 1, Lieutenant Larson was met by the family of that apartment, which confirmed that their teenage son was still inside the upper apartment. Truck 1 grabbed their tools and a water can and went to the rear staircase of the residence to gain access to the upper apartment. At the top of the stairs, visibility was diminished with smoke below the doorknob. When the door to the apartment was forced open, Truck 1 was met with 0 visibility and a medium amount of heat. Lieutenant Larson quickly decided to split his company into 2 search teams to cover more area quickly. Lieutenant Larson and firefighter Peck went to the right, and firefighter Lyman and Reisterer went to the left. During Lieutenant Larson's search to the right, they located the fire, and firefighter Peck used the water can to knock it down and kind of hold the fire at bay. During this time, the battalion chief radioed that the occupant was located in a room on the D side of the building. So Lieutenant Larson and Firefighter Peck made their way to the D side bedroom. When they arrived, Firefighter Lyman and Reister had already located the occupant. At this time, second 2 units had arrived on scene. Truck 1 rescued the occupant from the structure out of that bedroom window onto a ladder. After the occupant was extricated, Truck 1 finished their search and found no other occupants as Engine 2 made their push upstairs for final extinguishment of the fire. So incident priorities for us consist of life safety, incident stabilization, and property conservation in that order. Truck 1 took these priorities to heart and demonstrated their commitment and dedication to the community. During a fire with the buildup of heat and the products of combustion, seconds count. The decision to risk a lot for life safety and search the apartment without a hose line was paramount to the positive outcome of this incident. Furthermore, deciding to split up the company into 2 teams to quickly locate the fire, knock it down, and extricate the occupant during adverse conditions is commendable. This is a testament to what teamwork is all about, and the above actions demonstrate what the Manitowoc Fire Rescue Department strives to provide to its citizens every day. The ability to stay disciplined and focused during a dynamic event with lives at stake is why Truck 1 is deserving of the Unit Citation Award. So, it is our pleasure and we're honored to present this plaque and pin unit citation to Lieutenant Scott Larson. Firefighter Mark Lyman. Congratulations. Firefighter Ben Reister. And finally, Firefighter Will Peck. Congratulations. And that is all we have for tonight. Good job. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Congratulations to all. Well, don't leave yet. We got free beer, right? That's this next proclamation, isn't it? Well, okay, the on-duty ones can leave. Next up on the agenda is a proclamation to declare Manitowoc Specialty Malt Capital of the World, thanks to our wonderful company here in the city, Breese Malting. So we have Craig Breese here, owner and CEO of Breese Malting. We have some other folks from Breese. If you want to come up to the podium right now, we'll read the proclamation, and then if you would like to say anything after, that would be great. All right.
Great shirt, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I like to shamelessly self-promote. All right. So it reads, for the Specialty Malt Capital of the World, it reads, whereas Breese Malt and Ingredients family ownership recognized the opportunity for more flavor and variety in beer and was the first supplier of malt to the emerging craft beer industry in the 1980s. And whereas Breese is building upon the tradition of excellence at the iconic Manitowoc Malt Plant with a group of talented and dedicated team members who are experts in the art and science of creating the finest and most consistent malts that help differentiate brewing and food products in the United States and around the world. And whereas Breese offers the largest product line of specialty malts of any company in the world, with 45 different malts in a variety of package sizes and formats. And whereas Briess's specialty malts are used for brewing beer by more than half of the 9,500 craft breweries in the United States, including 3 right here in Manitowoc. And whereas Briess has the highest volume of specialty malt of any malting company in the world and is widely recognized as the leading producer in this industry. And whereas Briess has established the Center of Malting Excellence at the Manitowoc Malt Plant to strengthen and deepen the company's knowledge and applications of malting and barley, including accelerated innovation. And whereas Briess has helped revive Manitowoc's proud maritime history by receiving shipments of barley from Great Lakes cargo ships multiple times per year since 2022. And whereas Briess has been highly involved in the community, including establishment of an annual craft beer festival, Malt City Brew Fest, which has become part of celebrating summer along our lakeshore. Now, therefore, I, Justin Nichols, Mayor of the City of Manitowoc, do hereby proclaim that Manitowoc is the specialty malt capital of the world, and encourage the citizens of the City of Manitowoc to join me in recognizing the important role played by the malting, brewing, and food industries in the City of Manitowoc. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Briess from Briess Malting.
Thank you. I've got to maybe angle it this way so I can address the council, everybody here. Obviously, my name is Craig Briess. I'm CEO and 5th generation of Briess Industries. We're a Chilton and Manitowoc-based family-owned malting company, and it's really an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you today, and even more so considering this proclamation from the council. So really appreciate that. My family, we've been grain traders since the 1700s, but Briess's journey began really with a malt house in Olmutz in Czechoslovakia in 1876, and just actually 2 years shy of 150 years ago. In fact, actually, our malt bags, the central design is of our old Czech malt house. That's a nice little detail of it. Within 20 years of our company's founding, we had really established ourselves as exporters of malt and malt derivative products within and outside of Europe. Less than 50 years after the founding of our Czech malt house, and nearly about 100 years ago, my grandfather Eric brought Briess to the United States, and that's really where our story here begins. Today, Briess is a proud Wisconsin specialty malting company that provides all-natural, non-GMO products to ultimately beer, spirits, and the food markets. Starting with the malt house in Olmutz to my grandfather's journey from Czechoslovakia to the United States to becoming the largest malting operation east of the Mississippi, Briess has transformed significantly over the years. But our commitment to the principles that have made our company what it is today remain unchanged. Our unwavering commitment to top-tier quality and top-tier customer service, the honoring of our promise to our team members, our drive of creativity and innovation, and last but certainly not least, the pride that we have in our home here in Wisconsin. Today, we have the most specialized malting operation in North America. We operate multiple custom drum roasters, and actually they're the largest in the world. We produce the greatest number of specialty malt products in the brewing and the food industries. Our reach extends from coast to coast and really across the entire globe. And in sum, we, Manitowoc, have established ourselves as the leading specialty malting city in market share, expertise, and in reputation. Manitowoc has and continues to set the world standard for not just American specialty malting and craft brewing, but for the whole world. And so Manitowoc today is acknowledging, rightly so, its place in the specialty malt as a specialty malt capital of the world. And if we are the specialty malt capital of the world, then by extension, we are the craft beer capital of the world. And it's really in a specialty and a malting facility in downtown Manitowoc where most American craft beers begin, as you had mentioned, brought to life by talented brewing artisans in Manitowoc, such as Paul Hoffman from Petskill over here, in Wisconsin, and really across the United States, and in over 25 countries worldwide and growing. So this is not just a reach or some empty words. Really, the next time you drive down Washington Street and at the end of the road you see a large mural, you're really seeing the recognition and the celebration of our great city as the place where American craft beer begins. So 10 years ago, Briess made the commitment to call Manitowoc home. We've invested tens and tens of millions of dollars, and we haven't looked back. We've appreciated the city's partnership and support, and we've really been honored to give our commitment and our dedication to the city. Just last month, this council graciously passed a resolution to support Briess Port Development. That was a vote for the future of Manitowoc. We and I personally am humbled by that support. I know that I speak for every single one of the Brees family, and that is my immediate relatives and every single team member of the Brees organization, that we really couldn't be more excited about the future of Manitowoc. And with this council's leadership and vision that we share, that future really burns bright. Finally, I just want to express my personal gratitude to Mayor Nichols, who's been a champion of Brees and the great things that we're working to achieve. So, Mr. Mayor, just want to say thank you very much. When you join us for the proclamation reading at the Maritime Museum on June 25th, we're going to raise our local beers on high, and we're going to celebrate Manitowoc's leadership in worldwide specialty malting and its home to craft beer. And today, we recognize and salute Manitowoc as the specialty malt capital of the world. Thank you very much.
All right. I think it's something we always knew about ourselves, but now it's real. Thank you, Craig. Very well stated. Yeah. I was just gonna say, Pet Skull is open right now? Free beer? Not for free. No, thank you for that. Appreciate it very much, and great recognition of Brees and everything that Brees has done for the community in your years here. So thank you. Our next presentation is with Progress Lakeshore. Jamie Zastro is the executive director, and she will be giving her annual report, which will last 6 minutes and 27 seconds. That's what you told me.
That's what I did tell him. Yeah. I'm all about community promotion, so I love the proclamation that says that all the craft beer starts here. I think that's awesome. So thank you to Craig and your team for what you bring. All right, are we?
You're good.
Just checking if I still have battery on my computer. We're starting a little later than I thought. Anyway, I'm Jamie Zastro, as he mentioned, the Executive Director of Progress Lakeshore. We are a nonprofit organization with both public and private investors collaborating to help businesses grow and create a vibrant local economy. A business can seek counseling, business assistance, or help in retaining or expanding their workforce from Progress Lakeshore with the confidence that their business information is always kept confidential. Economic development is about much more than just business attraction, as you will hear more about tonight. We are about fostering partnerships and collaborations with existing community organizations that also support businesses and entrepreneurship. We can't be all things to everyone. We take pride in coordinating multiple layers of some projects by bringing the right people to the table. 2024 is our platinum anniversary. Here's a throwback photo from our first board meeting of the Economic Development Corporation of Manitowoc County 20 years ago on May 5th, 2004. To quote the newspaper article, it said, "Sometimes a new organization struggles to find a mission statement that unifies supporters. Not so with the Board of Directors of the Economic Development Corp of Manitowoc County. Their mission is to lead diversified economic and community development efforts in order to improve the long-term prosperity of the business community and residents of Manitowoc County. We're starting on an exciting journey," said EDC President Tim Schneider, who was elected at that Wednesday's initial board meeting. Since that initial board meeting, we have had over 100 individuals serve on our board of directors. We are on the same journey as mentioned in that newspaper article 20 years ago. Some of the conversations and initiatives may look a little different, but the mission and vision remain the same: to serve our community, to enhance prosperity. Here is a list of our current board of directors, and there are 3 additional candidates on the board agenda this coming Wednesday. We look to fill our board with representation from a variety of industries and locations. We are thankful for over 70 private investors, some that have been investors without fail for the last 20 years. The names of these investors would be very tiny print on this slide, but can be found in the annual report in your folder. We also have the financial support of our municipal partners listed here. This last year, we welcomed the Village of Cleveland to our municipal partnerships. The continuous support, collaboration, and partnerships of these municipalities are really the driving forces behind the success of this economic development model. These efforts enhance the work of your staff, your council, and boards, and these collaborative strategies are crucial for ensuring communities remain competitive in the long run. As mentioned, included in all those documents in your folders is our 2023 annual report, which provides metrics that we track and highlights some of our initiatives related to our strategic plan. I would just like to expand on a few of those exciting things that we remain focused on this year. We continue to see growth in our entrepreneur development services. In 2023, we served 95 entrepreneurs and played a part in 10 business starts. As of the end of May, we have already served 53 entrepreneurs this year, 35 are which are new since the beginning of the year. Ann Flad-Jessen continues to meet individually with these aspiring entrepreneurs who are at different stages of their journey. Some are still in the ideation stage, while some have already launched their businesses and seek further guidance on growth strategies. We introduced new programming last year that continues in 2024. Founders Connection gathers small business owners to network, expand their connections, and gain valuable insights from each other. These events showcase lessons learned from a local entrepreneur's journey or provides resources to address the challenges small businesses may encounter. Paul was our first speaker at our first Founders Connection, and now he left, and I can't even call him out on that. But he's got a great journey to share. Circles of Seven is a program that strives to support the success of our early stage businesses. Building on the concept, again, that businesses learn best from each other, a seasoned local business owner is paired with a group of 6 early-stage businesses to create a mentor-protege support circle. These circles meet monthly for 9 months, following a structured curriculum and addressing additional topics based on those participants' needs. We began our first program last September and hosted graduation for these proteges on May 21st of this past month. Our next program will begin this coming September. This year, we have already held 2 entrepreneur boot camps, one focused on starting a nonprofit and one for food industry entrepreneurs. Both were very well attended. Our 3rd boot camp will be next week on June 25th, with 2 more to follow later this year. ETP is our 8-week entrepreneur training program in collaboration with the Small Business Development Center. This will begin in September, and we already have some participants registered for that. And then in November, as part of Startup Week, we will again be hosting our Level Up Pitch Contest, where entrepreneurs give their business pitch to local judges for a chance to win prize money and the opportunity to advance to the regional pitch competition in Green Bay. This past year, we continued our engagement with the Center on Rural Innovation. After the initial assessment was completed as part of a cohort, we continued to engage Corey's assistance in conducting a feasibility study with the goal of building our vision and creating a roadmap for a tech incubator space and its programming. This study forms the basis for future fundraising and grant applications as it outlines the impact this space can have on Manitowoc County. A copy of this study is also included in your folder. In a nutshell, the study states that market assessment findings underscore the favorable conditions for entrepreneur success in Manitowoc County. Recent improvements in broadband infrastructure, coupled with investments in placemaking and quality of life enhancements, position Manitowoc as an attractive destination for remote workers and entrepreneurs. We can leverage our strategic location and strong community leadership to tap into regional hubs and educational partnerships to fuel innovative growth and talent development. There are obviously many more details on this initiative, and we will continue to have those discussions moving forward as we go into our strategic planning in the fall. In the 2023 annual report, there is a section that summarizes our participation in the Project Growth grant focused on solving the challenges facing Wisconsin's child care system. And last year I shared here a summary of the community survey we conducted that gave insight into the local perception and challenges related to child care as they're related to labor force participation. I'm not going to go into all the details included in the annual report, but would like to share that there are ongoing conversations around the child care crisis. Recently, we were awarded an additional $10,000 from the Project Growth Grant to continue our efforts. With facilitation and leadership from United Way, our coalition continues to advocate for increased quality early childhood education and the role employers and the community can have on increasing capacity and enhancing affordability in our child care industry, both in centers and family providers. We are formulating funding strategies to support training and professional development for providers a possible rotating substitute teacher program, facility maintenance and improvements, and we are hosting How to Start a Child Care Business boot camps. In partnership with Lakeshore CAP, we are working on a specialized child care incubator space that would allow licensed or certified family providers to start a child care business in a space where they will receive coaching and support for sustainable growth. And we will continue to persist in coordinating advocacy efforts with the state organizations that diligently strive to address the challenges faced by this industry. Progress Lakeshore is representing Manitowoc County through a memorandum of understanding as a partner in the New North Broadband Alliance. Our regional work has focused on identifying areas of need to assure that PSC grant funding is accessible to us to serve those areas. Soon, the Commission will begin to award Wisconsin's allocation of BEAD funding to internet service providers and other eligible entities. These statewide plans will serve as Wisconsin's roadmap to the implementation of high-speed internet for all. We are making sure Manitowoc County is included in these allocations and are supporting preferred internet service providers that are good partners and will deliver to key locations that are unserved or underserved. Why does this matter for economic development? Good high-speed broadband access correlates directly to population, education, economic growth, and even healthcare outcomes. If an area has poor internet service, it will negatively impact the community. The report from Manitowoc County from early 2024 indicates 2,650 locations are unserved or underserved. And while most of these locations may be outside of the Manitowoc city limits, we all know that the state of our county and region affect the ability to retain and recruit population to the area to support our local businesses and economy. So we will continue to coordinate these local efforts on behalf of our residents. And lastly, we recently held our 13th annual Excellence in Economic Development Awards breakfast this past May. This event is a celebration of projects, businesses, and people who have strengthened our local economy. Highlighted on the screen are our winners, but please check out the awards book in your folders to get more details about all the nominees and their stories. They're really great. Thank you for your time. I'm always available to talk more details about any of the items I presented today or topics of interest to you. My card and contact information is in your folder. And with that, did I make my time?
Well, you didn't give us brief mold balls. You gave us,
Well,
you gave us
I
homework.
should have
but
looked
that's
closer
okay.
on the agenda and brought, I don't know, some beer or something.
Well,
maybe.
you know, next year, just remember. Are there any questions for Jamie from the council? If not, then thank you, Jamie, for your annual report.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Let's see here. We have one public hearing at 6:32 for the purpose of hearing any and all interested parties in the matter of a proposed change to the official map located on Ebony Avenue. We'll have the clerk read the proof of publication.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Herald Times on June 3rd and June 10th.
Thank you. Adam, quick overview.
Quick. I don't even get 6 minutes.
I got something to throw at you. If you know.
I think this is fairly straightforward. Hopefully all of you realize we have an official map which really tries to plan out where we need future roads. At times we discover as subdivisions develop that we no longer need those roads mapped. This is one of those situations where we have an existing subdivision and based on the development patterns, we are removing an official mapped road from that item. We did contact adjoining property owners who may or may not be affected by this in the future. Both received that notification and had no concerns. So based on that, Planning Commission did recommend approval, as does staff.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Adam? Seeing none then, this is a public hearing. Anyone from the public interested in speaking on this specific subject matter may do so at this time. Anyone interested in speaking? Once, twice? We will close this public hearing. We'll move then to public input. Anyone from the public interested in speaking on anything germane to the business of the city of Manitowoc may do so at this time. Anyone interested in speaking for public input? Yes, please just state your name and address for the record.
Good evening once again, Council and Mayor Braymeyer, 1710 Whitewater Drive. First off, I want to welcome back Alderman Brett Vanderkin. I wish you the best in finishing your term, and I want to thank all the aldermen who spoke up in favor of him and voting him back on. I really appreciate that. Now, I want to talk about how it is important to uphold ethical standards, which is something not popular in modern politics. I'm assuming everyone knows that. But it's also important to not make the city waste up to $50,000 in an investigation, which they would have found Mr. Vanderkin living in his district anyway. And $50,000 in taxpayer funding wasted is definitely an influence to resign. So I believe he did make the ethical decision to resign temporarily as this was being figured out. And it was the correct decision to reappoint him, as his constituents did elect him multiple terms. He's the one that they want him to represent them, and I'm glad that they have their alderman back to represent them. Now, in regard to this filled alderman position and the previous meeting we held just before this, it was one or 2 months ago that the report was first put on the agenda. And I've been told that, if I'm correct, the council president does make the agenda, but I do think it was quite dirty to take an ongoing report from someone's personal life and put it on an agenda or bring it up as a live question in order to try to influence the vote. You know, because it's easy to rip on someone just because they have different ideological viewpoints as you. You know, in today's world, if you're a progressive or a member of Ally in today's world, you feel as if you can get away with anything, but if you're not, you'll get harassed and targeted. And the last thing I'll leave off is sometimes city politics can be as dirty as school board politics.
Thank you for your comments. Any other citizens of the city of Manitowoc interested in speaking for public input? Going once, twice. Any other citizens interested in speaking? We'll close public input and we'll move on to the remainder of our agenda. I have a couple of appointments. One is of Megan Marquant to the library board. I would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. I'm also going to be, my intention the entire time was to appoint whoever the successful candidate was from District 1 to the open standing committee spots that were there. So I will do that at this time. I will make a recommendation to appoint Brett Vanderkin to Vice Chair of Personnel and Public Safety Committee. I'd look for a motion to approve that appointment.
So moved.
Motion by Norrell. Okay, second by Reckelberg. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Can we see the ayes? Noes? Okay, let's see the noes. Okay, 1, 2, Sitkowitz, Bry. So I'm assuming the remainder are yes. So the motion carries 8-2. Thank you. Those are all the appointments I have. We'll move to the consent agenda. Anything to be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. We'll move then to item K on the agenda, and that is committee reports. We'll start with Committee of the Whole. Council President Bill Schley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has the documents.
Maybe she does.
Or did it not get passed down here? Oh, look, here it comes.
Oh, here's one of them. Okay.
Thank you. Yep, that's it.
Special events. Does anyone know where special events
Special
are?
events, hold on.
Oh, that's probably that big one, yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch here. Yeah, these are all consent.
Did you give? For the water main. So you want that part of the motion? Okay. It needs to be explicit. Okay. All right, we'll take the items up for committee of the whole.
Document 1577, which is gravel pit water main construction options. Committee returns same, recommending to go with option 1, I believe.
Correct. Is council your pleasure on this report?
I'm sorry.
We can make a motion and then you want to amend, or do you want to just make the motion to change it to that? Why don't you do
If
that?
it's all right with the council president, I'll make the motion if that's all right, or?
second.
Okay, so at this time, I will make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to approve the scenario number 1 and the extension of the water main to Hecker Road, County CR, Silver Creek Road, Orchard Lane, Birch Road, Nelson Lane, and in the second portion is Silver Creek on South 26th Street, the Phase 3 from Jenny Road from South 19th to Lissa Lane, and Phase 3 Cimarron Court from Jenny Road South. That is my motion.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion, second. Discussion.
Mackenzie, this is all, it's all on this
It's all
portion.
there. If I could just, Alderman Breyer, ask for a friendly little amendment. Sorry, I didn't add this before.
That's how
'cause we were-
friendly it is.
Well, just as we discussed, that any future recovery dollars and/or grant or otherwise would go back into the fund for which we're pulling the extra 1.4 roughly.
I would have no problem with that.
Just so we have that on the books, that's the intent, and if anyone financial advisor asks, they know. Thank you, I appreciate that. Any further discussion then on the motion? Seeing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
All right, we have document 1598, which is a report of Special Events Committee recommending approval for a variety of special events, subject to council action. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council your pleasure on this report.
Recommend to approve.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Council President Schley?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you. We'll move then to the Finance Committee. Alderman Jim Bryas, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has our documents.
We have document 1439, which is a resolution to carry forward to 2024 budget, vary appropriations budgeted in 2023. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
What's your pleasure on this resolution?
Move to adopt the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1585 is a 2-year operator license for L. Miglieri. Committee returns same, recommending approval of the license pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 111.335.
Council your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1586 is a 2-year operator license for A. White. Committee returns same, recommending approval of the license pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 111.335.
Council your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1588 is alcohol beverage license application for Broken Plate Catering LLC. Committee returns same, recommending to approve the license pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 111.335.
Council your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1589 is a cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device retail license application for P. Bellin, doing business as 920 CBD LLC. Committee returns same, recommending to approve the license pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 111.335.
Council your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Alderman Reckelberg.
This is for the CBD,
That is correct.
and that, I recalled something different. That's why I'm just questioning it, I guess, so.
There was discussion, but the motion to pass it was made at the Finance Committee. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1594 is a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council your pleasure on this resolution.
Move to adopt the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1600 is a request from Bricks Place LLC for a temporary extension of premise for the sale of liquor and/or beer on Washington Street, between South 7th Street and South 8th Street on June 29th from the hours of 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Committee returns same, recommending to approve the request according to city policy.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second discussion. Alderman Vanderkin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the, I guess the theme has been air of paperwork tonight, but didn't, my recollection, didn't Bricks change their name to BRICKS instead of BRIX?
Bricks Bar and Grill, actually.
But, well, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I guess I don't know for sure, but, you know, this is the LLC portion of it, you know, their business, this might be their.
Yeah, that's their corporation name legally. Their trade name, it does spell it Bricks. Like,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
That is.
It's similar to Pat Siegel, which is the
Yeah.
LLC. Not even close.
I think after our proclamation this evening, we probably, hopefully will vote yes for this since this is right in front of Brees. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Bry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just our next Finance Committee will be Tuesday, July 2nd, 5:30 p.m. here in the Common Council chambers. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll move then to the Personnel Committee. Alderman Eric Sitkowitz is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has our documents this evening.
Document 1595 is a resolution to revise a policy manual. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1596 is a resolution to revise drug and alcohol-free workplace policy. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second. Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1599 is a resolution to revise training, membership, and tuition reimbursement policy. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Alderman Sitkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One of the things that we've done with the tuition reimbursement policy that we brought forward several years ago already is now this time we're opening it up a little wider as an attraction and retention to some newcomer employees that have been with the city less than a year. So that was kind of the threshold before you were eligible to partake in the program. And we've had a lot of success with it. So we wanted to open it up to some newer employees. So now there's an opportunity to join the city and continue your education. So we want to make sure that that's known and part of our recruitment process.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Sitkowitz?
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor. That completes our business.
Thank you. We'll move then to the Public Infrastructure Committee, and Alderman Mike Cummings is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk should have the documents. I did pass them down earlier. Hopefully they made it the entire way.
Are you missing 1592?
I'm missing public infrastructure.
They're right here. They're right here.
Missing the whole
Public
infrastructure.
safety.
There you go.
Okay.
Held up by the council president.
Not the first time.
Not the last.
Okay.
Yep, just two.
All right. 1535 is Bayshore Trail Right of Entry Agreement. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council pleasure on this report.
I'll move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1592 is a request for 2 DPI staff to travel to Florida for the Transit Mobility Alliance Conference, FASTER Conference. Committee returns same, recommending to approve the request.
What's your pleasure on this report?
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Cummings?
That concludes our business today, Mr. Mayor. Due to the July 4th holiday, we're going to have a hard time making the quorum for July. So as of this moment, there's nothing on the Public Infrastructure Committee meeting agenda for July, so we're going to not have one on this regular scheduled date. If there would be something that would be urgent, we will hold a special meeting at that point. So the next scheduled meeting will be August 7th at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers.
Thank you. Move then to the Public Safety Committee, and Alderman Tim Bolt is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has documents.
Document 1553 is an ordinance to amend section 16.010 of the Municipal Code regulating building regulations. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Alderman Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just going to point out that the next two items on the agenda as well, just cleaning up the verbiage, making it a little bit more understandable for those applying for their prospective permits.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1554 is an ordinance to amend section 17.085 of the municipal code regulating permits required. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1555 is an ordinance to amend section 18.090 of the municipal code regulating electrical permits. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1556 is an automatic aid agreement between the City of Manitowoc and the Branch Fire Rescue Department. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council pleasure on this report.
Move to the enter the agreement, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Oh, is that it? I have 1593 as well. Is that
One more ordinance.
1593 should be in there somewhere.
93?
Check this file. It's all consent, but
93? Ooh, there's 97.
yeah, 63.
Combine those two numbers.
Yeah, that's
Then
true.
went that way, that was signed, the last one I handed you when I walked up.
68.
Me?
Well, I set it down between you
Not
two.
my fault this time.
Oh, I have it. That one's my fault.
Lots of
Ah,
stuff.
you little sneaky guy. You put her at the bottom.
Here, the
Lots of
last one was-
stuff.
All right.
Uh,
We have document 1593, of course, ordinance to amend section 10.170 of the Manitowoc Municipal Code regulating through intersections, South 15th Street. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council pleasure on this ordinance.
Move to adopt the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Alderman Bry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess I asked Alderman Bolt as Chair of the Public Safety, and I'm sorry I didn't watch the meeting or follow it, but what was the reason or rationale for creating two more stop signs, I guess? Was there accidents or was it reports? I guess just to give your interpretation, that'd be great.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead.
That's next year.
Are you gonna come in? No, that's next year. But, no, this Jefferson Elementary School was, had a safety audit, which the Department of Justice was also along, and they highlighted these, they had state troopers and marshals come along and highlight different areas where they could better protect our kids. These two stop signs were highlighted. One was going directly into the driveway, marking an vantage point directly into the school system itself, which they're also going to be adding other things to it. Then if you go in the back of 15th Street, that stop sign there was highlighted as well, because you have a one-way street and a throughfare going right in also into the back.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the explanation. Thank you very much.
All in District 7, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Any Alderman Schley, that answers your question as well?
Yes, it does.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Bolt?
No, Mr. Mayor, that is all. Our next meeting will be on July 8th at 5:30 in this very council.
Sounds good. Thank you. We'll move then to the Plan Commission reports.
We have document 1576, which is consideration and possible action on a resolution creating tax incremental district number 24, approving its project plan and establishing its boundaries. Plan Commission returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council pleasure on this resolution.
Move to adopt the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Just so everyone is aware, this will be going to the TIF Joint Review Board on the 27th for final approval. They have the final say over this, just so you're aware. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1578 is an ordinance to amend section 22.010 of the Manitowoc Municipal Code regulating official map master subdivision plans. Plan Commission returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else for the good of the order? If not, we don't meet again until after Independence Day. I hope everyone has a wonderful Independence Day. Reminder to council, we have our official council picture at the next council meeting, so dress up. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We are adjourned.